morning, good morning, good morning. It's Tuesday, and it is our 100th live stream for 𝗦𝗵. And I know there's a few of you out there that have been to probably almost all of them, if not all of them. I know there's a couple of you out there. Hey, 𝗦𝗁, who do we got today? Let me see. Let me pull you guys over here. And we're public. We would decide to go public today. We want everyone to see this, join in with us, and see if we can grow our audience. But hey, Michelle, Julia, 𝗦𝗁, Kirk, Martin, Thomas, Mike, Erica, Mary, Niles, Nick. Got a whole bunch. Philip. I'm sure I'm missing some because I can't see past the window. Tina, Desi, Joe, Adam, Martin.
We got people on YouTube. We got people on Twitch. We got people on Facebook.
I got Nick behind me. So I just thought, it's been I thought I would finish this entire thing in about a year. And as you guys know, I've had a lot of side projects pop up, and we've got courses we got to keep doing and this and that. A lot of things I didn't take into account. Well, rather than getting it finished in the last year, we've gotten halfway through it in the last year. So I was a little off in my assumptions. But I thought it might be fun to show you guys how far we've gotten in the last year. And for those of you that are new, you get to see what we've done. So about a year and a half ago, I started, we've been mulling this story around for the last several years, 6 years or so. But it wasn't until about a year and a half ago that I decided to hunker down, and Nick and I carved out some time, and I took about, probably a month and a half, 3 months, and storyboarded the entire thing, start to finish.
Camera down a little.
Yep.
Your chin is kind of like,
Yeah.
you're cutting off.
How's that?
That's better.
Yeah. And it wasn't quite on the thing there.
Yep.
So it took 3 months and storyboarded the whole thing, and we got it to where we really liked it. And we went to Europe, and we spent a month in Europe traveling around and lecturing. That's when we got to meet Martin Berger, among others, a lot of our good friends over there. And when I got back, we got back in May. I got a few things that we wanted to get done. We wanted to get another course done, and then July I started animating. And so we've been going it since July 20. Was it the first one was July 17th or 26th or something like that?
July 26th was our first.
Yeah, July 26th.
Because the 100th stream would have fallen on the exact one.
I had actually been working on a few weeks on it before then, because I started July 1st. But let's show you guys what we've done in the last year. So let's. I'm not going to take it through the whole thing, because there's still some I want to keep secret from you guys. And when we have it done, you'll have a few surprises.
We're on your desk now.
But yeah, let's go to my desk. So you got my desk, and I'm going to go ahead and play. I'm going to pull back on the sound because the score, I'm going to just talk through it. Because the score, I don't want us to get flagged. So these are some new shots that we've done, for those of you that haven't been with us. We redid these first few shots. And there's our 𝗦𝗵. And I'm going to turn that down because I'm afraid that we're going to get flagged. But I'm really loving this staging. We want this world to feel big. This is what we're going to work on today, this shot here. And I'll show you what I've done so far. But in the last year, this is what we've done. And, from a stylistic standpoint, I've always kind of leaned towards more of the naturalistic, old style, Bambi style Disney, and which is what I was trying to go for here. And I wanted that rough pencil feel. And it's funny too with you guys, you guys have been able to see how the look has kind of evolved, where I started out kind of rough and a little bit more searching. And as we've gone over the year, the drawing has become more confident. His design has settled in a little bit more. It's evolved. And so now I'm going back and kind of redoing a few shots here and there. And there's, some of these are some of my favorite shots. This is one of my favorite shots right now in the film. We had a lot of fun doing this shot together, all of us. And this whole first section is all about showing his loneliness. In the beginning, it's a big, wide, empty world that he's searching through, and then he finds potential friends that for whatever reason or another, don't want to be friends with him. Of course, he's a big polar bear, and he's lonely. And so we want, trying really hard to capture the audience's heart and them feel empathy for him and a little sadness. We've all been there. And that was kind of the impetus of this whole story, was this idea of loneliness and trying to find somebody. Now he thinks he's found someone and he gets really excited. A lot of this is metaphor for what you go through in life. But also just, making it literally fun. When we got to this section, we really this is where I really felt like I was settling into the character when we got to this point finally, because I was working kind of linearly through the shots. And so by the time we got here, I felt like I really knew how to draw him. I knew how to move him around. I could see him three-dimensionally in my mind. And this is where we really kind of settled in, and I found my groove. And that's really how it is on every feature that I've ever worked on in Disney. It would take, several months, to really find your groove. And a lot of times, right when you find your groove, you're done with the movie.
Songbird on YouTube wants to know, who does the backgrounds?
I'm doing the backgrounds as well. I'm doing every piece of art that you see in here. That's why it's taking so long. It's been my goal ever since I became an animator, that I've always wanted to do a film where I've created every piece of art. So I'm doing the backgrounds, the effects animation, the character animation. I'm doing all of it. Nick and Claudia and Vedanta and whoever else in the group wants to help are going to help me do character color. But as far as doing the animation and the backgrounds and the effects and all that, that's all going to be, it's going to be me, which is why it's, moving at kind of a snail's pace.
Benji says hi. He's watching on Facebook.
Hey, Benji. And so this is the next section. This is after he's discovered and decided to he's made his snow bear. And now we're seeing the joy of having a friend and everything he's doing with that. It's the fun and games section of our story. And this is right about here. We just did that a couple weeks ago. And so this is where we are. I'll let it go to the end of this gag. And So
there you go. That was a year's worth of work.
That's a year's worth of work. It's about 5 minutes. It's actually 4 minutes and 57 seconds. Some of that storyboard, obviously, but our whole piece is 10 minutes long.
YouTube.
So we are halfway there.
YouTube comment: this would be a really cool children's book. Funny you should mention that.
Yeah, we plan on turning it into a children's book as well.
Yep, that is in the works.
Yep, we're going to do it.
So we've got some other big news. Since this is our 100th Snow Bear stream, we thought we would do a couple of other things today too. So Aaron is actually going to be streaming all day today. So part one is what we're doing right now. We started at 10 a.m. Eastern time here on the social media channels. But after this stream, we're going to stop at around noon. And then you can go on over to part two, over to our Discord server. If you go to creatureartteacher.com/Discord, we are opening our Discord server up for 48 hours only to non-members. So our Discord server is normally members only access, but we thought to celebrate the stream, to celebrate the 100th live stream, we were going to do our part two stream over on Discord and open it up to everybody so that you can kind of see what things are like over there. Check it out. If you go to creatureartteacher.com/Discord, you can go ahead and click on that link. And there'll be a button right there to connect you to the server and get you your access. Also, over on the website, we are running a sale. A bunch of our courses are on sale, but if you use code snowbear-save, you can get any single class or photo pack for just $10, and that includes bundle lessons too. So if you want to get our animal drawing bundle, which is normally $100, you can get it for $10. Crazy. So head on over to creatureartteacher.com and check all of that.
And I'll definitely check that out. Fun Film Animations. I will definitely check that out. Fun Film is making a video.
Yeah, for people that might be watching the stream that are seeing the chat window on the side, those are our members. So they've got, if you become an annual or monthly streaming member to our website, we do these Snow Bear streams twice a week for members. So
yeah, we've got a great little family. I love it.
So those comments you're seeing there, if you become a member, you'll be able to see your comments up there as well.
So what I'm doing here is the reason I picked this shot. Well, first of all, I wanted to redo this shot for a while. The other one was just kind of a roughed in version. But I thought it would be fun to show how wind blows through the fur. And I decided to put this shot on ones. I want that fur to really animate nicely. This is the first time we see Snow Bear, or see Glenn, our bear, our polar bear. It's the first time we see him up close. And so this is our first up close introduction of him. And the first time we see him, he's searching. He's looking around. That's what he's doing here. And so that's the goal here, is to get that idea across, show he's searching. And I also want, like I said before, the environment is a big part of this story. And so when he stands up, I want that wind really whipping through his fur. So in this particular section, what I've done, and I've got a neighbor next door that runs his vehicle all the time, so you might hear his vehicle running.
I was like, is that a bear? When I was first hearing it, I thought I was hearing a bear outside. I was like, speaking of bears.
Now, my neighbor has a few Porsches, and he likes to rev them up. He's a little annoying. But anyway, and for those of you that are new, I'm working in TV paint software. The brush that I'm using is a number 2 pencil, which feels just like any pencil I would have used on paper back when I was with Disney. And like I said, this first view of him is he's searching, and the wind's whipping through his fur, and I just want it to be kind of a really kind of cool first shot of him. And I'm going to put it on ones, which means each drawing, or at least the fur is going to be on ones. The head is going to be on 2s because it kind of holds. But what I've done is when I did the rough animation, I put the fur on one layer, blowing fur, and I put the head on another layer. So I've turned off the head layer so I can just do the in-betweens, and I've left the fur layer on. I'm tracing the fur, simplifying it. Yes, he does, Zalji. Simon, do I have any recommendations for iPad animation apps? I think Procreate has some really cool animation in it. And then Calipeg is really good as well.
Twitch question. Is there any way to look back on this stream on Twitch? Because I've noticed that some of the streams aren't saving like they used to, only on Twitch though. Yeah, that's because Twitch, at least the last time I checked, makes us manually have to go save it, and frankly sometimes I forget to do it. So yeah, I will make sure that this stream replay is available over on Twitch. It's always available automatically on our YouTube and Facebook channel as well. So another Twitch question. I have trouble keeping my line art neat. Is there a way to avoid using sloppy lines for line art?
Well, it's time, and I if you notice the way I'm drawing, I draw fairly direct, and that comes with time as well. It's just the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And that's the best answer I can give you. That answer covers about 95% of every question I get. Unfortunately. Um, there's no magic answer for a lot of these questions other than practice makes perfect.
See, I got a YouTube question. Hello, Nick. Would you be able to explain the new animation and character design certificates? So, yes, since we last live streamed, especially on our social media platforms, we launched over at creatureartteacher.com. We all launched a certification program, and so far it's been really popular.
Yeah.
Basically, the way it works is we will now human review your work. So you have to take the courses first. And then once you take the courses, you can go ahead and apply for a certificate of completion. If your work meets our quality standards, then we'll go ahead and send you a certificate of completion. And what's cool about it is you get a printable PDF version, which is, that's fine. It's for personal, use. But you also get a digital badge that actually can be embedded in social media platforms like LinkedIn resumes, stuff like that. And the way it works is anybody can click that digital badge. It'll direct them to our website, and it'll actually certify that you've completed those courses. So it's got some meat behind it as opposed to just a printout. Having said that, I do want to be clear. These are certificates of completion. It's not a degree program or anything like that, but it is good. We've gotten a lot of questions over the years, people that want employment reimbursement for our classes, stuff like that. So it's intended for those sorts of uses, resumes. We get a lot of that about international students that are looking for resumes and certificates of completion, stuff like that. So that's who it's sort of geared towards, or anybody that might need it just for continuing education purposes. Twitch question: are there any plans to add different certificates in the future? Yes, we have some story and storyboarding ones coming soon. We've got some drawing ones coming very soon. So yeah, it should be.
We're going to fill it out.
Rolling out soon.
Yeah. Martin's saying, guess who was the first person to get the certificate? We all know who that was. Erica
Bay.
So the process in doing this fur, it's a lot of it's random. This drawing, whoops. A lot of it's random. Especially the smaller hairs along the edge of the fur, along the edge of the body, the silhouette. But then you get into the longer fur, and you can see I'm kind of moving them in clumps and moving them in waves. And but they move quickly. And the idea is to, you don't want to have your waves moving too slowly from drawing to drawing. Otherwise, it won't feel like hard, gusty wind. It'll feel like it's underwater. And we don't want it to feel like it's underwater. So we want it very, just kind of random all over the place. If I play this and you look at the edges, those edges are just really random, but our brain interprets it as wind, especially when we add the wind sounds and everything else. And so there's a lot you can get away with. But if you look at that fur, especially under the chin, along the neck, the longer fur, you can see that there's actually a pattern to it, that there's some randomness, but it flips and whips around. And that's one of the reasons I want to put that on ones, because I really want to get the full effect of that. And like I said, because it's our first shot of him up close, I want it to be kind of an impressive shot.
Can you tell me what new courses you have planned?
We've got a couple of new courses. One I'm going to be doing, we've got one in the works right now on storyboarding with Woody Woodman. Now, we've got several courses on our site that deal with storyboarding, but they're with different instructors. And Nick and I are both big believers in teaching the same subject but with different instructors, and so that you get, you know, sometimes you get different information, but you also get the same information sometimes, but doled out in a different way. And some, you know, some people do better with some instructors, and some people do better with other instructors. And so it's like with David Coleman. David Coleman and we overlap quite a bit in the stuff that we teach, whether it's animal anatomy, character design, that sort of thing. But I always think that the students benefit from that. So it's always our goal to try to get more than one instructor in to teach any single subject. So we've got Woody teaching story. And I'm going to be teaching a course on another animal, my next animal drawing course. But it's going to be more about not a specific animal. It's going to be more about drawing animals from life and focusing on the zoo, because most people, when they draw animals from life, they're going to the zoo. And I get a lot of questions from students saying, you know, how do you draw these animals when they're moving around and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to focus a course on that and how you go about doing that. But we've also got, you know, I've got some specific animal drawing courses, primates, things like that. We've also got Armand Serrano, who's doing a course on layout, was it?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So Armand Serrano will be doing a course on layout. We've also got, who else do we have? Ronnie Williford is going to be coming in with watercolor. We've got quite a few pieces, courses coming up. Peter Hahn is going to be doing a course with us. Did I say that? I didn't say that prematurely, did I?
Nope.
No. So we're very excited about that. Peter Hahn is going to be.
Did you say Marco?
A new. Oh yeah, Marco Bucci is doing a course with us. Marco Bucci, Peter Hahn. We got some new folks coming in that you might know, and we're really excited about it.
Jenny Medven is going to be working on another course too. I talked to her about that the other day. So
oh,
that's
great.
Great. Hi, sir. Greetings from the Philippines. This is on YouTube. Do you animate a scene, an entire scene in a day? And how many hours do you animate in a day?
I usually work about 6 to 7 hours a day. I find it hard to do animation more than that. My brain gets really burned out. But I work very concentrated. I really don't get up from my desk that much, other than to go to the bathroom. And I know it depends on the length of the shot. I can, you know, a smaller shot I can do in a day, but, you know, larger ones, they might take me up to a month. You know, the shot with the shot where the bear is swimming with the whales that I showed early when we played the reel, that shot with the two characters, plus it was an 18-second shot. That shot took me a month to do. And that was working on it full time. So, you know, but it's all full animation. It's 24 frames a second, working on 1s and 2s. So
Nicholas asks, would you ever consider creating a course that gives a demonstration of creating a background done in the classic Disney style? I believe Armand's class is actually going to cover some of that. That's part of his class.
I'm not
sure about style, but
I'm not sure. Is he going to do color as well?
He's going to, I believe he's going to do, and I don't want to say something that's inaccurate, but my understanding is he's going to do mostly pencil, but he's going to take one or two of them all the way through to color. We had discussed that. I don't know 100% on that, but I think that's the plan. Kasra on Facebook says, any plans for the Brother Bear 20th anniversary event?
We're trying to get something going. There's nothing we can announce yet, but we're trying to get something rolling. We want a whole background painting course, Nick. Yeah, I agree with you, Martin. Yeah. I want to get something. I've got one guy that could do a background painting course. He's an amazing, he was an art director for Disney, one of our best background painters. But every time I ask him, he's like, oh no, and no one wants to hear anything from me. So it's taking a little bit of work to convince him to do it, but if I can convince him to do it, it'll be great.
Were most Disney backgrounds made with watercolor? I've been practicing them and I really need guidance.
Well, it depends on the era. So in the beginning, they were done in watercolor. With Snow White was done in watercolor. Pinocchio was done in watercolor. Bambi was actually done in oil. And but once we got into the 50s and 60s and acrylics were invented, then they started doing stuff in acrylic, and they got looser with a lot of times with their designs. I think Sleeping Beauty was acrylic. But it varied. When I was there, we did do some Roger Rabbit cartoons. We did them in the style of watercolor to look like watercolor, but they're actually acrylic. They're acrylic used like watercolor. And if you look at Lilo and Stitch was meant to look like watercolor as well. I think watercolor backgrounds are my favorite. If you look at the old Pinocchio backgrounds, those are, and I've seen the originals. I went to the animation research library, or the morgue, they call it, where all the finished animation goes when it's done. And I was able to pull out some of the Pinocchio backgrounds, and they're just stunningly beautiful. Well, Pinocchio, there are elements in Pinocchio that are done in gouache, but gouache is watercolor. Gouache is an opaque watercolor. So you can do gouache and traditional transparent watercolor together.
Natrix on YouTube has a question. Hey Aaron, quick question. Do you have assignments that we have to complete while doing your art and animation courses?
I'm doing demonstrations, and you can follow along with the demonstrations. That's basically how it works. But if you get the certificate as well, then there's assignments in that are basically the same thing. You follow the demonstration and then present what you've done at the end of it.
Yeah, and related to that, someone asked, hey, do you have a place where students of yours can discuss our work and assignments and all that stuff? And
that brings us to
our Discord channel, which is actually what that is intended for. So our Discord server is created for members, and the idea is that you can share work, you can get feedback. That's the whole idea of this 48-hour access window. If you head over to creatureartteacher.com/Discord, you can become a guest pass member of our website, or of our Discord server. It'll work for 48 hours, and you'll see that we've got all these channels over there where every single course is set up so you can upload your work and get feedback on it. And then we've got a section just on general art and feedback. So it's, we're trying to foster a community. Right now we're using Discord as our primary means for that.
Will there be animal drawing certificates in the future, or traditional media certificates? Some of us are waiting for that. Yes, Martin. There will be.
Pretty soon, actually.
We'll also have certificates on the number of times, sort of like the jacket for hosting Saturday Night Live. We'll have certificates for the number of times you've been fired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kidding.
Tamal asks, if you buy a specific course, do you have access to that course's Discord channel, or would you also have to purchase the membership? As of now, no, you have to purchase the membership. We might revisit that in the future, but the Discord server, and for us, is kind of a new thing. So for now, it's members access. Now, just so you know, you can become an annual member, which gets you everything on the website.
That's over 700 hours of content, plus brushes and everything.
Yeah, plus everything we release over the next year. So we always say it's the best value in art education. And you also, what's cool about our annual membership is you get to download and keep everything. So if you become an annual member, we also have a monthly plan, which works like Netflix. So you can stop and start at any time. And that gets you access to the Discord as well. Someone says, I am a member. How do I get access to the Discord? If you go to the My Account page on our website, there's a link right in the left-hand side menu there that says Members Only Discord area. If you're not a member, just not to confuse people, for our 48 hours access window, just go to creatureartteacher.com/discord.
Zanji says 700 hours of content, or as Erica likes to call it, a lazy morning.
Any plans to offer personal one-on-one mentorship or reviews of our work? Or could you recommend other experienced animators that offer that?
I don't know who offers that right now. Does Schoolism offer that?
I don't believe so.
I'm not sure. We're not doing that right now only because our volume is so big. It's very difficult to do one-on-one. One of the things that we did recently was some portfolio reviews over on our Discord. And we might do more of that later in the future. But right now, no, we're not doing any one-on-one only because it's too hard to do with the way that we've got everything set up and the volume of the volume of work that we have that comes in.
Jay on YouTube says the membership was the best purchase I've ever made. Thank you, Jay.
That's awesome.
And
thank you.
And Dea on YouTube asks, hey, if I want to draw a head, do I have to be able to draw the skull from any direction?
Well, it depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, if you're just drawing the head from one angle, then no, not necessarily. It depends on what you want. But if you want to be able to draw a head at any given time and someone says, hey, draw me a head at this angle, blah, 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 then yeah, it might be nice to understand what's going on underneath and understand that skull. I'm always a big proponent of understanding the structure of what's going on underneath. I'm not, it very much helps to understand the skeletal structure. I think it's more important to understand the muscular masses and how they're shaped. Now, a lot of times you'll have to understand the skeleton to understand why the mass is the way it is. But for me, it's more about understanding masses and how they relate with one another and the rhythms of those masses and the way that they relate. That to me is the most important part. Oh, I want to bring something else up real quick. This is completely unrelated, but I do get this question a lot. A lot of people ask me about how much they should be practicing and, is it okay to take a break once in a while? And I just went on vacation and I was gone for, it's been about 10 days since I've seen everybody on the live stream here. And I had every intention of doing a bunch of art while I was gone. I brought my arty with me and all my drawing materials, and I brought some watercolors, and I never once touched my pencil, opened up a sketchbook, and I relaxed the entire time, and I felt great doing it. And I'll tell you what, coming back, I was so ready to start drawing and so excited to get back to my drawing board. Sometimes you need to take that break, and so don't ever feel guilty about taking that break. And we had just come off of meeting a big deadline with another project that we were doing, and
which we can't wait to announce. That's going to be fun.
Yeah,
look for news of that in September.
Yeah, and so I didn't crack open my sketchbook one time, and I was in the moment with everybody, which was nice. We went out, we went mountain climbing, or we didn't go mountain climbing, but we went up to the top of some mountains, and we hung out in the lake, and we ate together and cooked together and laughed together, and Aaron wasn't off sitting by himself drawing like he does usually on vacation. So it was great for family, and it was great for my sanity, and so it was just another lesson for those that are trying to get in and want to be an artist professionally. You don't have to do it 24/7 all the time. You can take a break and just recharge your batteries, is what I did, and just do that and feel good about
And then Berg's Art on YouTube says, how is Snow Bear funded and is there a place to contribute? Well, the best way to contribute as of now is by supporting us on our website, Creature Art Teacher. So we are 100% self-funding Snow Bear. We are bringing in a, a big time music composer at the end, and we've got a big budget set aside that we're raising for that. So by buying courses from our website as of now, we haven't done any sort of fundraising or Kickstarter type stuff. We might do something like that in the future for some post-production stuff, but for the most part, we're just trying to do this all in-house and all out of pocket. So if you want to help us, go buy a course at creatureartteacher.com.
No, that's the thing. We've spent 10 years trying to build up our website so that it could provide the income for us to do something like this. And so, once the website got to a certain level, we decided, we might be able to do this and let the website fund it. And so, like Nick said, the best way to help us there is to continue to buy courses.
Acacia Rogers on YouTube says, hey, I just wanted to share some exciting news. My first solo show / conservation event is coming up called New England Wildlife and Agriculture. You were my earliest inspiration for animal art, so thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's great. Congratulations. And that's awesome.
And Goat Babe on Twitch says, been a member since 2020. The amount of knowledge I've gained is immeasurable, from color, techniques, fundamentals, etc. Thank you for reigniting the passion for creating art.
That's cool, Fun Film. Fun Film Animation says, Aaron, I just finished the teddy bear dialogue animation. I did it digitally and cleaned it up. I turned him into Winnie the Pooh, so now he's just a little angry Pooh Bear.
Mr. Goody asks, are you also doing the sound design for Snow Bear?
Yes now,
no. Yes and no. We are going to have full Foley done. So we're working with people on that. So right now,
I'm not personally doing it.
Yeah, right. Do you look up to Glenn Keane or Milt Kahl, Aaron?
Well, it's funny you say that. I love Milt Kahl, but Milt Kahl was before my time. The person that taught me animation was Glenn Keane. So, matter of fact, we've named our polar bear here in Snow Bear. We've named him Glenn. He's named after Glenn Keane. When I was a little intern back in 1988, when I just turned 20 years old, and I interned at Disney, Glenn and I were assigned to each other. He was assigned to be my mentor. And I had been trained in illustration, but I'd never done anything in animation. I knew nothing about it, didn't know what I was doing. And I walked into the Disney studio ready to learn, and Glenn took me under his wing. And in 6 weeks, he taught me animation. And he taught me well enough that I was able to get a job with Disney after that 6-week internship, and then cut ahead to about 2 years later, and I was working with him animating the Beast on Beauty and the Beast. So yes, I very, very much look up to Glenn. I owe Glenn my entire career. He inspired me. I remember, I've told this story 100 times, walking into his office on the first day and him really explaining everything to me, and I got so inspired. I just thought, this is what I want to do the rest of my life. And here we are, literally 35 years later. So right now, the bear himself, he's really not moving that much because he's looking off into the distance. The reason I'm not putting him on a held cell, obviously the fur is blowing, but I could make the fur on another layer. I want the line to be alive. This is hand drawn, and there's a storm blowing, and I want that line to vibrate. And it's one of the things I love about hand-drawn animation is that that line is alive. And so many people get hung up on line crawl, and I actually love it. I really love the idea of seeing the human imperfections in there. It's the imperfections that make it perfect. You can quote me on that.
Ace Creates says, hey, I don't know if you remember, but I met you all at CTN last year. It was so awesome to meet you and see your process. Super amazing things you're doing. Thanks for all that you do.
If I saw your face, I would remember. Thank you so much.
Would you ever be able to bring Glenn Keane to do a class on your platform?
I would, you know what? I will, we would love to do that. We haven't contacted him yet, but
it's on our to-do board.
It is on our to-do board. If we can, we will.
You sound a lot like Brad Bird when he talks about animation.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment because he's one of my animation heroes. Thank you. See that fur? It gets really complex, but I look at the fur as like a series of little shapes and clumps and things like that. And I just kind of work my way through methodically animating them almost like a flag whipping in the wind, you know?
And Fire Lily Studio on
That's
YouTube.
cool, sorry, go ahead.
Fire Lily Studio on YouTube says, hey, Aaron, I'm looking forward to seeing you at In Motion in London next month. So some people might not know because we haven't done a public live stream. It's now, in a while, it's now been publicly announced. Aaron and I are going to be in London on September 8th and 9th with Playgrounds and Procreate. We've got an event planned over there. It's going to be really exciting. So if you are in the London or Europe area and you can make it, come on over and say hi. I just posted a link in the comments. Aaron's going to be giving talks and demos, and I think you're going to be doing a couple portfolio reviews also, right?
Yeah, we're going to do portfolio reviews and lectures and all kinds of stuff. We're only there for 2 days, and then we're back home again. But we'd love to see you guys if you're going to be there.
Will you be streaming this Friday?
Oh, yes. So that's another big announcement.
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to stream on Friday.
Because it's the first Friday of the month.
It's the first Friday of the month. But now that we've finished, now that we've finished with our other project, and so it's not taking any of our time, I want to go back, and I feel like we've been losing a little bit of our public, a little since we were going just once a month. So we're going to go back to doing our Friday live streams every Friday. And so that is starting this Friday. Even though it's the first Friday of the month, we're also going to do the second Friday, third Friday, fourth Friday, and sometimes fifth Friday. So we're going back to every Friday. So for those of you that are members and you're with me twice a week, you're going to be with me 3 times a week if you want.
I mean, I don't even like being with you 3 times a week, so I don't know
For
how
3
these
minutes.
people... Yeah.
But
so yeah, regular Friday streams are coming back.
yes. So this week I was looking at some of the old, I was looking at the one of the the bear cams. Now I realized after I made the announcement that the salmon run is starting to wane, but let me back up. I'm jumping ahead of myself. There's a live bear cam at Brooks Falls in Alaska where the salmon run comes through and there's bears fishing. And a really fun thing to do is go to these live animal cams and just draw what you see. So you're drawing animals live. It's just you're drawing them off the television or off your computer screen. And so we're going to do that Friday. So we're going to talk about drawing animals alive. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a primer on my course coming up. Matter of fact, let's jump over real quick. I want to see. I've got it right here. Matter of fact, I have it pulled up. Here's a live shot right here. Yeah, this is live. So this is there's still a few fish jumping there, so hopefully they'll still be there on Friday. But are you on the desk? Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
So this is I was actually there back in 1999, so 98 or 99, I guess it was. So 24 years ago. I stood right where this camera is, basically.
Is there audio coming out of that? If there is, you might want to mute
Oh,
it. I don't know if
let
there
me
is.
mute that. Sorry.
I don't know if there
No,
is.
it's muted.
Okay.
There's usually a lot more bears there, so by Friday they might be gone. But if they're gone, I'll be taking some of their highlight reels and using those. And so we'll do it one way or the other. We'll be drawing from video, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Got a couple good questions here. Hey, Aaron, compared with Glenn Keane, your sketch seems to be much more final right away, and Keane's is very loose with a thicker brush. Can you talk about those different approaches a bit?
Well, there's some illusion in that. My initial sketches in the beginning are rough. This has been cleaned up, and I'm cleaning it up yet again as I go. So, matter of fact, the sketchiness that I have in my drawings, I learned from Glenn, and so
Do you have the rough animation layer for this?
I not on this particular one, because I did this. Let me see. Actually, I don't have it in this file, this particular file. Let me see if I have it in the other one.
While you're looking that up, quick question: have you ever worked with James Baxter?
Well, we've worked on films together. He and I have never worked on a shot together, but we have worked on films together. So let me see. Here's a shot. So this would be a first pass because he's not moving a lot. He is a little bit more tied down. But let me pull up. Let me show you one that has a little bit more action to it, and you'll see. What shot is this? I forget. A39.
So many files, so many shots.
Oh, yes. It's going to be about 15,000 drawings when we're done. So here's gonna play a little bit choppy. I gotta bring this up because it's a heavy shot. If I show you, so here he is, that's all in between and it's all nice and clean and tied down. But if you look at the beginning, the first pass, this is my first pass. And so you can see this is very scribbly. This is where I'm finding the action, finding the masses, and making sure it all works. And so this is, this approach right here is what I learned from Glenn. And so I'm finding the timing, finding all of that kind of stuff. And then I take that and especially with digital animation now, I'm able to pull back on the opacity, and which is basically the same as putting another sheet of paper over the top, and doing that. In this case, I changed some of the timing. So if I pull back on this opacity a little bit more, you can see that final line right over the top of the rough animation. So there you go. So it does start out very rough, but then I refine. It's depending on the shot.
Oh, Dustin's here.
Hey, Dustin.
Joe V on YouTube asked a question. I often worry that I won't be able to be successful in the industry unless I am well versed in both 2D and 3D animation. Do you think it's necessary to build skills in both?
No, I don't think it's necessary. Do I think it's a good idea? Sure. I mean, it's so knowledge is power, as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, there's a lot of uh, wrong layer. There's a lot of 3D animators out there that don't animate in 2D, that don't draw. You know, the biggest thing about 2D animation, in my opinion, is that you really need to know how to draw. That's your language, you know. Now there's different styles of 2D animation that will lend itself to someone that doesn't draw, you know, as well as say a milk call. But I do think the better you draw as a 2D animator, the better off you're going to be. But even then, you don't have to be, you know, like I said, you know, depending on the style, you can be a different level of artist. So if you want to be a 3D artist and just focus on 3D, then that's great. Now remember, you know, 3D and 2D are just two different mediums. As far as the animation goes, the fundamentals of the animation still apply to both. So the idea of appeal and squash and stretch and overlap and follow through and all these things that we do in animation to make it more dynamic, those apply to both 2D and 3D. Bring you guys back. Martinberger asked, do I have any ideas for another short after Snow Bear, maybe a sequel or a prequel?
We've got so many ideas.
We've got a lot of ideas. We want to start doing shorter subjects so that we can do them a little quicker. And I'm talking like 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. You know, 10 minutes is great.
But it takes over a year.
But it takes over a year. Unless we bring in other artists.
Which
that might be something we do down the road.
Which actually dovetails into a question that someone else had asked, which is, do you ever have plans for doing a short where maybe your members or students can participate doing things like learning to do in-betweening and stuff like that?
There's no plans right now. We've talked about it. Those types of things get a little touchy, just to be completely transparent on it. It gets touchy as far as how things are credited, how things, you know, do people get paid? Do you create a budget for it? It just gets a little, you want to make sure that you do it right. And so you just got to be careful the way you do it from a legal standpoint. We've talked about it though, and I would love to, I definitely want to start doing more shorts down the road where people come in and join me right at the concept stage, and they're there through the entire storyboarding process, animation, background, all of it. Do it for shorter subjects, 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. So you get like these mini film school lessons, and by the end of it, you'll understand how to make it in, you know, make a short. Or you can scale it up and make a film. Who knows?
Someone asked, what software are we seeing right now? This is TV Paint. YouTube question, have you seen Bluey, and what do you think of it?
I love Bluey. Nick turned me on to Bluey.
I think Bluey is the best children's animated show on television right now.
I think it is too.
Because it's not formulaic, you know. It's cool. There's not a formula to that show other than kids playing with their parents, which is a great message in and of itself. But it's not like one of those shows where the same thing happens episode after episode after episode, and you want to bang your head against the wall.
Yeah.
Hey, Aaron, great work. This is Twitch comment. I was curious, are you working in a specific resolution like 4K, etc., or is that determined when you are in the editing phase?
No, I'm doing everything in 4K.
He's animating in 4K.
Yeah.
If this was a vector-based animation, you could change the resolution independently afterwards. but TV Paint is bitmap based. So we want to animate as what we intend the final product to be seen in. Otherwise, you would get pixelation if you were to try to blow it up or what have you.
I remember when we were when digital was just coming out, and we were working at Disney, you know, because everything was being done on film. And film has its own resolution depending on how it's the ASA and all that stuff. I remember when you know, 1K, just regular HD came out, and we were projecting it up on the screen, and we just thought it was the coolest thing, how crisp it was. Another thing I'm doing right now is I'm going through and simplifying, even though they're ratty, I'm simplifying the edges. Right now, if I turn off this layer and turn this up, you can see that the edges are the line work is, there's no closed off lines, and so the color will spill out. So I'm going through and making sure that all the color is closed, or all the lines are closed off like this along the edges. And that's going to help with the that'll help with the coloring process, which I'm hoping to get through today. I'm hoping by the end of the day we have this finished and in color. So if you're willing to stick it out with me until the end of the day, hopefully we'll have it done. No guarantees, but it'd be nice.
Yeah, and for those who may have joined late, this is part one of our stream today. Aaron is going to be streaming all day. We're going to go from 10 a.m. Eastern till noon today, so about another hour on this stream. And then we're going to take a 1 hour lunch break. And then we're going to be over on our Discord server, which we are opening up to non-members for 48 hours. So go to creatureartteacher.com/Discord, and you will be able to join us over for part two of the stream at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to go pretty much for the rest of the day over there. And you can check out the Discord server and get to know our students and artists. And we're hoping it's going to be a good time.
Martin is asking how long the Discord stream will be. It's going to be until I can't draw anymore.
Yep.
Until we finish. We don't have a set time.
Till 2 a.m.
Yeah, till 2 a.m. I'm going on a marathon.
Yeah.
A telethon. The old Jerry Lewis telethon.
Yep.
How many of you guys remember the old Jerry Lewis telethon?
Oh, I do.
That used to be a big thing when I was a kid.
Yes, it was. Me too.
I'm purposely drawing the loose fur inside the ear. I'm purposely drawing it inconsistent from drawing to drawing, so it vibrates like it's getting windblown. And the fur against the back on the right side, I'm just drawing it smooth, as if it's being pressed against the body, and then it's blowing on the other side.
Hello, good morning. I admire your work and what you transmit as a person. I wanted to greet you from Bogota, Colombia, says Nelson on YouTube.
Hey, Nelson. Nick and I love Bogota. We've been there one time lecturing, and man, we had a good time.
And another YouTube question. Do you think drawing from photo reference is useful? Everybody tells me that I should be drawing from life, but I don't always have a chance to do so, and I'm tired of drawing objects from my room and desk.
I draw from photographs all the time. Do I depend on photographs? No. So it's good to understand your subject matter beyond the photograph. And so a lot of the photographs we take ourselves. And so I'm drawing from animal. I'm drawing animals from life a lot. I'm always looking up and understanding the anatomy, brushing up on anatomy, all of those things that will help when it comes time to use a photograph as a reference. And the other thing too is I use photography in my photo reference just as a starting point. It's a lot of times it's to check anatomy if I might be questioning something, but even that can be misrepresented in a photograph. A lot of times a photograph, I'd say about 90% of the time, a photograph for me is just a jumping off point. It might spark an idea that I then run with and create my own composition. So don't let it, it's okay to use photographs. People use, whoever tells you they don't use photographs, um, if they're doing realistic work, 9 times out of 10 aren't telling you the truth. But don't let it dictate what your finished work will be. You're the artist, it's your world. Just use it as a tool. Gene, just an idea. Could you take some live audio comments, questions on Discord today? Yes, that is the plan.
Yeah, so that's one of the cool things about the Discord platform is we can talk to you. So we might ask some of you to talk to us in person while Aaron's animating. Answer your questions without me having to relay them.
That's right. That's right. Look at that fur. Ooh. Look how simple it starts. And then as I go, it gets more and more complex. That's how a lot of my work ends up. Question from Film. Do we have any plans on making bigger puzzles like 1,000 or 2,000 piece puzzles? I don't
Not
know.
not yet. We've talked with Kent, who does the puzzles for us, and he has done 1,000-piece puzzles. The problem is at that point, at least in our current system, those pieces get so small, we'd have to make larger puzzles
Boxes.
overall and
Yeah.
boxes and yada yada yada. So so no, nothing larger than 500 pieces as of now is in the works, but we might revisit that in the future. For people that don't know, if you go to creatureartteacher.com, we have a whole line of puzzles that we have featuring Aaron's artwork. So we've got 150-piece puzzles all the way up to 500-piece puzzles. And if you remember, we even have a members only puzzle.
You'll be bringing back the members only jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nicholas Martin's right. I wish I could share some of my early artwork, but I lost it all in a house fire when I was younger.
Although someone just sent us a parrot that they have that was
Oh
how
yeah, I
old?
did that when I was 14.
Yeah.
Where is that? Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it was. I don't remember. I barely remember doing it. It was when I was a kid, I would do any way to make a few bucks, and it was a little
Just
drawing I
commission.
did. It was a colored pencil drawing I did of someone's parrot as a commission. Let's see if it did it go over. I can't tell. There it is. So this is a little colored pencil commission that I did when I was 14. It says 1982. And I did this for somebody. I think I did it on newsprint too. All the horrible papers to draw on. But this is I loved drawing birds back then. That's all I drew were birds. And so this was a green parrot that I did.
Aaron, will you ever give a TV Paint discount code? If you become a member to creatureartteacher.com, you get a TV Paint discount code.
You do, and it's a big chunk too.
Yep.
So we're getting there. I want to get through him kind of exiting the shot. So I basically want to get through the rest of these drawings before we break. We might go a little bit late. We might go past the 12 o'clock. I guess we don't want to.
We don't want to go too late because we need to set up the.
Yeah, we don't want to screw up the schedule.
But that's, I mean, as long
That's
as
all right because I'm going to finish it one way or the other.
if you go a couple minutes over, no biggie. But
Go back. It only goes back. Joe, I didn't see it. Hey, Fun Film, maybe you can post that link again. I'd like to see that. All right, folks, we're going to see the. Hey, that's a shot I did. Oh, look at this. Am I able to play this without it getting tagged?
I don't know.
I'm going to play this offline, Fun Film. Sorry, I love it, and I this is amazing that you pulled all this work together. I'm just afraid of YouTube tagging it, and
During
then
the
all of a sudden
stream.
the whole live stream won't be able to be replayed. So I appreciate it so much. Thank you. I'm going to watch it offline. It says no. I guess it's. because I know there's no music, but it's all but there's, I guess, because the I just wonder about the video itself being tagged.
It should be okay in that regard.
Well, I've got the music turned off. These are all my shots.
Not the Scuttle one though, right?
No,
Wasn't there a shot of Scuttle in there?
no, I didn't do this one either. And that's these are Byron Howard. I directed it. I didn't do that one. I did this. I've actually got the drawings for that. And that's not me either. And that's Byron. That's Glenn. That's me. That's Mark Henn. That's me. Wow, this is cool. It's like a walk down memory lane. Yeah, all the different films we've worked on. I love this. That's a Glenn shot. These are Mark Henn. And then Trail Mix Up, I did about the first minute of Trail Mix Up.
Yeah, we're actually going to be putting out a reel. Someone asked, is this a reel of your animation? No, it's like highlights of films that you worked on, I guess I would call it.
That's cool.
But we are, oh, that's really cool at the end.
Oh, I can't wait to watch this.
But we plan on putting out an animation reel of Aaron's really soon.
Oh, thank you so much. This means the world to me.
How much Yao stuff in Mulan did you animate, Aaron?
About 90%. No, I shouldn't say that. About probably 60% of Yao.
And you designed the character also.
Yeah, because Byron Howard did a lot of Yao as well. I was the supervisor, and then Byron worked with me, and then Chris Bradley also did quite a bit. But I also did the ancestors in Mulan as well. That was fantastic. Thank you, Fun Film.
Your daughter was based off of Nala, right?
Yes.
It's the other way around.
Are you Heather?
Nala was based on your daughter, not the other way around. Your daughter was not based off of Nala.
My daughter was based off of Nala. Yeah.
Specifically her eyes, right? That was kind of like...
Yeah, it was her
big...
eyes. She had the little... Her mother has the same eyes. Had the same eyes. Fun Film. Are you Heather? Your real name? Are you Heather from Disney?
A question, on your last live stream, you were showing us the drawing boards that you were working on. I was just curious if you got enough positive support to continue the project. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting over here.
It's just a matter of I went on vacation and we've got another project to get done, but we've still got them right here. Yeah, we're gonna circle back to that. We've just we've got a lot of irons in the fire. Heather Worley.
Are there any art books you would recommend for drawing anatomy?
Yeah, well, a lot of Proco, they're not art books, but Proco's good. Oh, you're not Heather. I thought you were Heather. I had a hunch you were Heather. Um, uh, my gosh, why am I always forgetting her name? The anatomy book that I wrote forward.
Oh,
Did you see it? Oh, I don't think it's in there. You said,
I'll find it.
remember. Just a humble art animation student. Well, thank you. Man, we're so close.
Hey, Aaron, been a fan for a while now and was wondering if you often draw from imagination or if you have any odd interests that you like to draw.
I draw from imagination all the time. I mean, everything we're doing here is from imagination.
But if they mean like made up creatures and stuff, you do that
Yeah, I
too.
mean, I do a lot of creature design, and matter of fact, we've got courses on it on my website. I've done that ever since I was a kid, but as I've gotten older and learned anatomy and comparative anatomy, animal anatomy, I've been able to apply that to my creature design, which has always been a lot of fun.
For people that might be tuning in late, today marks our 100th Snow Bear stream, so that's why we decided to make it open to everybody. Also,
we're having so much fun, which
Yep.
is cool.
Also, to celebrate, we're running a sale over at creatureartteacher.com. If you use promo code snowbear-save, you can get any single class or photo pack for just $10. So, and there's no limit to the number of times you can use that code. The sale runs through the end of the week. So, creatureartteacher.com. And if you're enjoying this stream, Aaron's going to continue streaming all day. Part 2 is going to occur over on our Discord channel, or Discord server rather, which you can get a 48-hour guest pass access to by going to creatureartteacher.com/discord. Who animated Quasimodo in The Hunchback?
James Baxter. So, real quick. So, uh, the figure drawing, human anatomy drawing book that someone was asking me earlier, I couldn't remember Samantha Youssef's name. But it's Samantha Youssef. I could remember Youssef, but I couldn't remember Samantha. I actually wrote the foreword to the book, but the book is, she's so good, and it's so well explained. I just pulled it up here on, and thank you, Erica, for bringing that up because I couldn't remember. I just pulled it up on my phone. So yeah, thank Erica for that. But it's Samantha Youssef. She's an amazing artist. Check out her work. Bridgman is also great, Zamji. I agree. I always
I think her
I
book.
always like Bridgman.
I think her book might be out of print
Oh, okay.
based on the price that it's currently going for on Amazon.
What is it?
$200.
Oh, yeah. But I know she's got, I'm pretty sure there's some videos out there with her drawing. Samantha Youssef.
By the way, if you're enjoying these streams, do us a favor and whatever platform you're on, hit the like button or the share button or subscribe button. Help us spread the word. It really, really helps us a lot. Someone was asking, how they can contribute to Snow Bear. The best thing you can possibly do for us is either pick up a course at creatureartteacher.com or just help us spread the word. That is the best way to support us. Are you in touch with John Pomeroy at all?
John Pomeroy and I cross paths every once in a while. We're friends. Matter of fact, that in the last CTN, he and I were right across from each other, and we talk a fair amount.
Yeah, we plan on doing a little cross-course collaboration.
Because he's got his school now, and we've got ours, and so we want to kind of cross-promote each other. That's something we do with Proco a lot, too. Now, I know John Pomeroy, he got Glenn to do a course for him. He and Glenn go way back to like 1973, 1974. So 74, I think that's when Glenn started. I think Pomeroy was there before him.
Did you see the interview with Johan?
That's cool, Julia. Sorry, go ahead.
𝗦𝗁, the French animator, where he does an interview with you. No, I haven't seen the video yet. I just found it. You did this interview when we were at Lightbox, or do you remember when we were sitting down and you did the interview?
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
I haven't seen it. Where is it?
It's on YouTube. I just found it.
Oh.
He posted it 1 day ago.
Oh, it just came out?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, crazy. Talk about keeping stuff in the bin.
Well, it's not just you. He interviewed a bunch of people in it, so I think it was like a larger.
Oh, got it.
No pressure, but how close are you to getting Snow Bear done, do you think?
Well, if you were here at the beginning, it's taken me a year to get halfway through it, so we're probably another year away. But I'm hoping we're going to speed up. I'm hoping now that we're finding a groove now, and I'm not well, I'm not going to say because I always guess wrong. But I'm hoping that it's going to go a little quicker the second half.
How many years did you work at Disney?
I worked at Disney for 21 years. It was a great 21 years. I loved working there. Really loved it. But things changed, and after a while you gotta find a new path. Would ever do something with Don Bluth or James Baxter? I would do something with them in a heartbeat. It's just that we're all very busy people, and to wrangle us at any given time would be really tough to do. But man, I would love to do something with either one of them. James, we're actually going to see James. I'm hoping we're going to see James in London. He's one of the guest speakers. And so we're hoping to catch up with James while we're there. Maybe go out to dinner or something. James is from the UK, so I'm assuming he might be wanting to see family.
Have you seen 𝗦〗𝗕𝗄 by Andreas Deha yet?
I have not. I'm dying to see it. I want to see it. It hasn't. It hasn't been. It's been only without. As far as I know, it's only been playing in theaters,
Yeah.
select theaters, and it hasn't been playing anywhere that I've been able to get to. I'm sure he wants to keep it eligible for an Academy Award, and you can't stream it for a certain amount of time. Oh, I didn't see the question, Zounzi. So, what are your thoughts on being creative / teaching versus managing other creative people? I think they overlap a lot. It's kind of the same thing. As a director, I wouldn't say I manage. I mean, I had managers. I did a little bit of managing, but I was teaching as much as I am now, I think. Maybe not as much because a lot, most of them were professional, but some of the folks I think were teaching as much. So for me, it's hard to say because they overlap so much, and I don't manage as much as you might think as a director. I have other people that are managing. I'm really focusing on the creative.
Well, you're working with the art directors, and then the supervising animators, and the supervisor animators work with their sub animators. So it's kind of like a funnel, right?
Yeah, as a director, you're kind of top of the line. There's a lot of management that goes on underneath you, but other managers are handling that.
And then you're meeting with them to make sure they're on track.
Yeah.
But I will say, not all Disney directors have your background. A lot of them do. A lot of them could draw, but not all of them.
Yeah, most Disney directors have a background in story, which was not my background.
Right, and you were an animator, so you came at it from one of the things I think you always said that made you feel be successful was that you're able to communicate your ideas visually. You can draw out what it is you're looking for, right?
Yeah, which I think, well, a lot of Disney directors still did, but maybe not to the same degree that I would try to do.
Who animated Mufasa?
Mufasa is 𝗦হিcie𝗕 𝗕𝗲. He's an animator and character designer now for Pixar. 𝗦হিcie𝗕 𝗕𝗲, I think, is one of the best in the industry. I definitely think he's one of the best character designers alive. And he's the most laid back, cool dude you'll ever meet.
Have you tried working with famous Disney animators Byron Howard or Pete Docter?
Byron used to be my assistant.
Yep.
Byron we worked together at Disney for a long time. When I was the way Byron got into the industry was, we in Florida, we had, our studio was also an attraction. And so tourists that came to Walt Disney MGM Studios, they could go to the animation tour and you could go through and watch all of us work. And we worked behind glass. And so we would have about 10,000 people a day come through and watch us work. And those people needed to be guided through the tour. And Byron Howard came in as a tour guide. That's how he got his foot into Disney. And then once he got there, he put his portfolio in and got an internship, and everybody could see right away this guy was amazing. And so he hired, so he came off the tour and came into the studio. And then within, I think, about a year or so, he got promoted to...
Our stream is really sputtering all of a sudden. Like, we're down to 0 kilobits.
At 0?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that unless the internet's going out.
I think the internet is going out.
Because we're hardwired, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're having. Oh, we're back up.
Sometimes the internet itself just sputters and then goes back to normal. That's really strange.
Yeah, it completely cut out for a minute.
Are we back?
Yeah.
So, so Byron was promoted to animating assistant, and that was during Mulan. And so he came on and became my animating assistant. And I say that very loosely because Byron was so good right from the beginning. I wasn't teaching him anything. He just took off and he was cranking. And he was such a great artist, great animator. I didn't teach him anything. And it was always so apparent that he was destined for great, huge things. And then after that, you know, he was an animator. I made him the supervising animator of Kenai, the bear, the biggest role in Brother Bear, and because I just knew he was gonna nail it, which he did. And then he got into story and transferred to California and went on, you know, boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, he's a 2-time Academy Award winning director. So he's amazing.
Did you know Steve Mason at the Florida studio? He did some Tarzan stuff and snuck me in as a family member. This is from Keith.
It struck you as what?
Keith is asking, did you know?
I know Steve Mason, but
he snuck him in as a family member.
Oh, snuck him in as a family member. Yeah. Yes, I knew Steve Mason very well. I think he's from South Carolina, North Carolina, or something, or maybe Tennessee, or he had a southern drawl to him.
How can you keep the balance of not getting stressed out as an artist, especially when you create your own content with Snow Bear, etc.? Do you feel guilty if you take a day off for a holiday?
No, matter of fact, that's what I was just talking about earlier. I don't feel guilty at all. We work, you know, this is our job. So we come in here and we work 8 hours, 9 hours a day sometimes. Sometimes I just work 5 hours a day. But we're putting in all the time that we can on these projects. And sometimes you need a break. And so we take the break when we need them. And then there's a lot of, you know, there's a lot of other things that go into this business as well that Claudia deal with on a daily basis. So there's all kinds of stuff.
And Dustin.
What's that?
Dustin too.
And Dustin, yeah, Dustin as well. Yes. Yep. But I was thinking about the backside of stuff as well. Yeah. And Dustin, yeah, Dustin doing all the editing, or doing a lot of the editing. And
we're offline again.
I got it.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. If you can hear me.
It's really weird. Like, it actually, all of a sudden, it went from 0 kilobytes to 14,000 kilobytes. Like, it shot up even above what we have it set to.
That's internet then.
Yeah. We're getting some sputtering going on.
It's our service.
How do you maintain volume control when animating to be consistent with the character?
Consistent with what?
How do you maintain consistent volume in a character when you're animating?
No, I got that. I didn't hear what the last word was. I'm always, well, whatever volume I start with, I'm always comparing back to that first drawing. And a lot of times if I get, you know, kind of a ways in, I'll grab that first drawing and compare it, and then if I have to resize, I'll resize. But I'm always comparing. You know, it's just something that you got to keep conscious of, because my characters naturally grow. Some people, their characters naturally shrink, and so I'm constantly having to resize my characters down, even after having animated for 35 years. If I'm really into just like the performance, and I'm not really thinking about the drawing, my character will grow, and then I got to go back and resize. Which is fine. You just want to make sure that your volumes are consistent before you tie everything down. But everybody goes through, grows or shrinks or whatever, and you just got to resize. But the best thing to do is to compare it as you go, so that you don't have a whole string of drawings to resize.
Aaron, have you ever been to the Serengeti and Ngorongoro crater in Tanzania? I just went there.
I've been to Tanzania. I've never been to the Serengeti. I've been to the Masai Mara 4 times, which is the northern end of the Serengeti. So in a way, I've been to the Serengeti. It's, the Serengeti is the Masai Mara. The Masai Mara is the Serengeti, I should say, once it crosses over into Kenya. The Serengeti is in Tanzania. And I've been to Tarangire National Park in Tanzania. I just haven't been to Ngorongoro Crater.
Dustin asks, where was it in the studio that you used Austin and I as human shields during the rubber band shootouts when we were babies?
In the main hallway going down. To make sure I wouldn't get hit in the head, I just held you guys up as babies because I knew nobody would shoot you.
Well, you gambled that no one would shoot them.
Exactly. We had a lot of rubber band fights in the studio.
Our subscriber count is plummeting now. People are like, what? How could he?
Oh, I toughened them up. They're fine. Animation's a dangerous business.
Since Disney animators normally get to supervise units of 1 or 2 characters with other people assigned within that unit, have you ever been in situations doing a minor shot of other characters?
Many, many times. I actually, when a lot of times my characters were secondary characters. And so when a lot of times when, my character would get finished before the main characters would get done. So I would jump over and help out with them. So like Raja, for instance, Raja was a pretty secondary character that didn't have a lot of footage in the film. And so when I finished Raja on Aladdin, I then went over and helped out. Well, actually, I did it while I was doing Raja as well. But I did a lot of Princess Jasmine with Mark Henn.
You did some of Aladdin also, right?
And I also did Aladdin. Yeah, Glenn was supervising Aladdin. A lot of people don't realize that. Glenn Keane did Aladdin. That's always one that I always forget to mention when I talk about his characters.
So, how many animators did Eric Goldberg supervise on the genie in Aladdin?
I think there were 6.
Yeah, and like when you had a main character, there was usually about 6 under you, right? Like
Yeah.
Nala.
No, Nala wasn't really a main character. I've never supervised more than 2 people. My characters were usually small characters.
Okay.
Glenn, there was
6 of you on the Beast, right?
Yeah, 6. Yeah, that's including Glenn. Five that he supervised. Yeah, it's for a main character, it's usually about 5 people, 5 to 6.
How do you study new animals that you want to learn to draw? Do you have a step-by-step process for studying the animal?
I usually look at shape. I already understand basic, even if it's a new animal, I'll understand the anatomy under the skin just because of the comparative anatomy experience that I have. And so I think about what's going on underneath first. I'll look at the structure. And then it's looking at rhythms, looking at proportions. It's another big one. And then go from there. All right, so now we just got to animate him walking out, exiting the shot. We've got the fur in there. Let me turn this off. So this is what we've got done. I've already got a few ones in the beginning that I did last night. Got the first 12 frames on ones.
If you're enjoying this stream, this is part 1. We're going to be doing part 2 at 1 o'clock today. So we're going to break for lunch here in about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back in an hour over on our Discord server. Go to creatureartteacher.com/Discord to access that if you're not a member to our website. We're opening it up to non-members for 48 hours. And we're going to continue this shot. The plan is to finish it and possibly take it through to full color today.
Exactly. Is it the Bancroft's birthday today or was it yesterday?
He said Topher Bancroft.
Yeah.
Birthday.
Gotcha. All right. So let's get going to the next drawing.
July 31st. So yesterday was their birthday.
Ah.
Tom and Tony.
Tom and Tom.
And Topher. We should do a whole fake documentary about Topher Bancroft, the forgotten Bancroft.
Yeah.
Photoshop him in like Forrest Gump, like in the background of all the... Ace on YouTube asks, I might have missed it, but what is the frame rate you're animating at, and what do you recommend for upcoming animators?
I'm animating at 24 frames per second. And I recommend animating at 24 frames per second. See, the head was starting to grow there, and I didn't want it to grow. So what I did was I copied that first initial drawing and pasted it. There we go. So 24 frames a second. That's what I recommend. One thing I want to change is that ear is going to start to drag. So if you are wondering what I just did, I just selected that section of the head and copied it, and then I pasted it on the next frame so that the volume stays exactly the same, obviously. He's starting to walk out. Because I noticed on some of the drawings, I started stretching the head a little bit. I don't want that to happen. Oh, Desi says that they already bought the ticket for the 8th and 9th of September in London. So excited. I hope to get a chance to meet you in person, Aaron. I hope to meet you as well, Desi.
Yeah, Playgrounds announced that all the early bird tickets already sold out.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow. Lofi Studios is asking, how long would a 15-minute video take to animate with one person? Because I'm always thinking I'm taking too long. Well, it depends on what you're trying to do and the style, and you don't have to do. And the style that I'm doing, like if I were to do Snow Bear and it was 15 minutes long, It would probably take me about 3 years, 2.5 years to do it. Um, but there's ways of doing it quicker from a stylistic standpoint. If you're looking at, held cells and limited animation and things like that, there's ways of doing that more economically. Adventure Time style. What's Adventure Time style?
It's a cartoon, Adventure Time.
I know that. I don't know what the style is.
Uh, you'd know. I don't know. It's like kind of rubber hosey, but it's. I mean, James Baxter did a bunch on it, so the animation's great in it. But it's
If
more
it's
of a,
simpler, then yeah,
it's simpler shapes. For
so
sure.
you can figure from there. Maybe it's a year instead of 3 years or something. But 15 minutes is a lot of animation, especially if you're doing 24 frames a second and you're doing twos and ones and all of that. That's a lot of animation. Well, that was on for 4. Oh, I see. I'm gonna put that there then. Just gonna move it.
Marcello asks, why does Aladdin change his model so much during Aladdin? I've heard that at first he was supposed to be a kid, but then he was changed to an adult, so there are some shots that he's still a kid. Is that true?
No, it was just it was bad cleanup. That's all it was. No, it was just bad cleanup. If you look at Beauty and the Beast, the cleanup's all over the place on that as well. It's hard to keep those characters consistent, and they change, and you have a lot of different people trying to draw the same thing, all in the same style, and it's just hard to do to keep everything super consistent. And so you'll end up with inconsistent cleanup.
James Baxter animated a horse on Adventure Time that was actually named James Baxter.
That's pretty darn cool.
How did you start drawing?
Um, I always was fascinated with drawing, and my mother, to keep me occupied, would set me up in my high chair, and she would take old brown grocery bags and she would cut them up so that she could lay them flat, and she'd give me crayons and pencils and stuff, and I would just kind of entertain myself sitting in my high chair drawing all the time as a little kid. And that's I just always loved to draw. I don't remember ever not drawing. It wasn't something I decided to pick up when I was 10 or 12 or 13, or I've just always drawn.
Also, want to remind people that if you use code SNOWBEAR-SAVE, you can get any single class or photo pack over at creatureartteacher.com for just $10. So that's a huge savings on a lot of the bundles and all kinds of stuff that you can get. So that's SNOWBEAR-SAVE, and head on over there today. We've got over 700 hours of classes, animation lessons, drawing tutorials, storyboarding lessons, painting lessons. If you want to learn it in art, it's probably on our website.
That's right. So all of this is going to be on ones as he exits out. Hoping to get it done today. I'm not sure yet. Got about 5 minutes. I'm not going to make it. We're going to quit before I get all this done. Or take our break, I should say. Oh,
Hey Aaron, I'm really inspired by your work. What do you think about animating using rigging plugins like Duik, Joystick, and sliders for 2D animation?
say that one more time. Sorry.
Well, I know what your answer is going to be, but what do you think about using animating using rigging plugins like Duik, Joystick, and sliders for 2D animation?
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm going to say. No, just draw it.
He's never done it, so
No, you got to draw it. Don't look for if you want to do 2D animation. Don't look for the shortcut.
well, I mean, there's a ton of productions that are done using 2D puppet rigs, but
Yeah, but if you're looking to do classic type stuff, then you just got to draw it.
yep.
Now, once again, it depends on your style. If you want to try something a little different, um, but um, the if you want to do like Disney style animation, or like what I'm doing here today, um, and here I am, copying and pasting ahead here and there. But you got to draw it.
Did you study polar bears in real life? If so, did you do this in the zoo or in the wild?
No, I did not do it in the wild. I've seen lots of polar bears in the zoos, and we did some drawings there. But a lot of the reference I got from this was from video documentaries.
We still might try to get up to Baffin Island at some point, but
Yeah, or Churchill, Manitoba. Oh, well, I show you my DVD of Brother Bear. I don't know where it is. I have no idea where it is. Sorry,
So,
Martin.
which character did you work on for Pocahontas?
I worked on Pocahontas. I was one of the animators of Pocahontas. Glenn Keane was the supervisor. I worked with Glenn on Pocahontas. I worked with Glenn on Beauty and the Beast.
So for people who might not know, Aaron animated Raja and Aladdin, Beast and Beauty and the Beast, Pocahontas and Pocahontas, Nala, young Nala and the Lion King,
Yeah.
a bunch of Roger Rabbit in the Roger Rabbit shorts,
Yeah.
some of Aladdin in Aladdin, Yao and Mulan, all the ancestor ghosts in Mulan. And you did a few shots. You directed Brother Bear, but you also did a couple shots of Kenai and Brother Bear, right?
Yeah. And I directed How to Haunt a House, which is a little goofy short.
Mm-hmm.
You can find that. You can find the goofy short on YouTube. The video's there. That was fun. So we're getting there on this. Coming together all right. So what it's going to look like, it's going to have this nice background to it. You know, this stormy background, and we're going to have the color is going to be the same color as you can just barely see the bear in this shot. He's very tiny down at the bottom of the screen. He's right there, and he walks and then stands up right here. He's leaning too far to the right. I got to redo that part of the animation, but he's going to stand up, and then we cut in tight. He's going to be like that. So it's going to be nice seeing that all in color and then on ones. Boy, it's going to be nice. Can't wait.
How do you manage when you get physically tired while animating?
I go to sleep.
Take a break?
I take a break. Yep, when I get tired, I go to sleep. Then I come back and draw some more.
I'm a big proponent for every so often standing up and walking around, going on a little walk, stretching your legs.
Yeah, I do it all the time. I'll work for about 2 hours and then I take a break. Then I work for 2 hours, take a break. Work for 2 hours, take a break. That's the best way to do it for me. Or an hour and a half. About every hour and a half probably is closer. I'll take a 15-minute break. All right, so speaking of which, we're going to take a break. So we're going to be back again at 1 o'clock. And we're going to be over on Discord. That's going to be fun. We're going to go the rest of the day there. And we're going to try to get all these drawings done. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so if you head on over in 1 hour, we will be up over on our Discord server. You can go to creatureartteacher.com/Discord to join us over there. That'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So it's in 1 hour from now. And I'm going to go ahead and post a link in the comments for everybody. And we will see you there. And we're going to continue working on this shot. And we are looking forward to seeing everybody there. You'll be able to access that. If you're not a member, if you're a member to our website, you get permanent access to the Discord server. If you're not a member, you'll get 48 hours of access. And hopefully you like what you see and you consider signing up and becoming a member.
Hey, Simon, someone was just asking what character animation I did in Trail Mix-Up. I animated about the first minute. So if you watch Trail Mix-Up, I did all the animation up to the point where Mom cuts the rope and he bounces on the ground and he grabs his ears and covers his eyes. I did all the animation up to that.
So that
point.
shot where he's upside down and spinning around like a pendulum and all
Yes.
that and talking, Aaron animated all that.
And then I also did some of the beaver animation later on in the story. All right, guys.
thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you over on Discord for part 2. We hope you all can make it. We hope you have a great day if you can't. And remember, if you can't join us on Discord, this Friday we will be doing another public stream, and we're going to be back doing regular weekly streams every Friday. It won't always be Snow Bear, though. So if you want to see Snow Bear and the process made in real time, become a member at creatureartteacher.com. We'll see you soon.
All right. See you in a bit, you guys. Bye.